Hi guys, welcome to your favorite football vlog, Footy Chronicles. My name is Bolaji and thanks for joining in. Wow, Super Sunday, what a game, what a game. Chelsea Football Club against Manchester City yesterday was a cracker. Chelsea just keeps having back-to-back matches of the season. Just last week they played against Tottenham on Monday and it was also a cracker, ending 4-1 in favor of Chelsea. And yesterday was a classic. One for the books, one that you would look back and say, what a night in Stamford Bridge. 4 goals apiece. It was a 4-4 draw yesterday under the lights in Stamford Bridge, and I'm sure up until now, Guardiola would be asking himself, what happened? Where did this Chelsea team come from? Where did they get their strength? Where did they get their resilience from? And he wasn't prepared for it. I'm sure he didn't know what hit him, but he should have gotten a clue from the Tottenham match and see that when Chelsea wants to party, they come with all their arsenal and they come with all their might. And it was obvious yesterday. It was a good one for the neutrals, and you can see I'm wearing a Chelsea jersey just to celebrate the performance. Regardless of whatever the result would have been, I'm sure Mauricio Pochettino would have been proud of his boys and how well they played against, the European champions. We all know how difficult it is to play against Manchester City Football Club, but Chelsea were able to actually hold them. Also, I'm sure this is good news for the rest teams on the top of the log. Tottenham also dropped points this weekend. They were beaten by Wolves 2-1. Tottenham led for most part of the matches. I think they scored in the first 10 minutes of the game and held on until the 89th minute. Wolves got an equalizer, and before the end of the match they were able to get a win over Tottenham. It was a comfortable win for Arsenal against Burnley as they ran away 3-1 in that one. And also Manchester United back to winning ways after the disappointment of the week where they lost 4-3 to Copenhagen. They were able to actually defeat Luton 1-0. And that's good news for them, because up until now, you would not believe. You would think Manchester United have actually had a very terrible season or a bad season, but they are sixth in the log table. Take that into context, thinking that Eric Ten Hag this season has come under a lot of fire, and people are saying they think he has lost the dressing room, he has lost the players. The players are not playing for him again, and one of those are of that opinion that Eric Ten Hag might have actually lost the winning touch or the winning mentality. They were not able to build on what they actually did last season, and they've been very poor most times this season. But they are 6th or 7th on the league table, which is something remarkable. And just to put into context so that you would understand as Manchester United fans, I know you don't want to hear this, Eric Ten Hag has not actually done very badly. He is the only manager in 50 matches after Sir Alex Ferguson to have been gathered 30 wins. I think only Sir Alex Ferguson was better than him. Mourinho was able to gather 94 points. Solskjaer was not able to gather as much as Eric Ten Hag has been able to gather in his first 50 matches. So kudos to Eric Ten Hag. I think United fans will agree with me that the team just need a little boost. I think that 1 or 2 times where he would actually come to the media to call his players a question is what I don't really like. Just to give you a proper rundown of other matches over the weekend in the English Premier League, it was 3-2 in favor of Everton against Crystal Palace. I think Everton is also one club that of recent have started playing well, getting the results, and that's just to show that they have a very good coach. That's the former Burnley coach managing Everton. Is doing so well, getting the best out of the players, and they are picking up the points. Crystal Palace Stadium is not an easy place to go to pick up 3 points, and they were actually able to do it. And on the Liverpool were able to defeat Brentford 3-0 with 2 goals from Mo Salah and also a goal from Diogo Jota. Jurgen Klopp just by the side, just picking up those points, and it's important. This weekend is very important for Liverpool and Arsenal to have picked up the win, knowing fully well that Tottenham have dropped point, Manchester City too. We're likely going to drop point against Chelsea, and they actually did. So it's a good weekend for Arsenal and Liverpool supporters. Liverpool going back to winning ways after their shambolic performance over the... Can you imagine losing to Toulouse? It didn't shock me. Get as it be. It affected a whole lot of people, including me. At get here, come out. But notwithstanding, Liverpool back to winning ways. I mean, last weekend also was a bit of a struggle for them. They were able to get 1-0 draw against Luton. They were almost beaten. And away from the English Premier League, Real Madrid were victorious against Valencia, running riot, 5-0. And also Barcelona were able to come from a goal down against Deportivo Alaves with Lewandowski getting both goals, leaving Spanish La Liga. Let's quickly touch down in Italy, the Italian Serie A, Napoli. I saw this match and I was wondering why Napoli played very poorly. I think we'll be missing their talisman in the person of Victor Osimhen, who has been out for a while now with injuries, and he's not back in the team, and they just look so toothless. They were not sharp, the players up front. You just knew they were missing a very, very big player in the person of Victor Osimhen. So they were beaten 1-0 as at the time of this recording. The coach is actually about to be sacked. I think that's going to be announced shortly, but there is already talks going on with the directors and the boards and the owners of the club as to them looking to get a new coach, as Inter Milan were also able to do the business against Frosinone as at the time of the recording. They were actually leading 2-0, and I would think that they would be able to see that one off because they are in the latter stages of the match. Moving away from the Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga, where one man is just ripping the record book apart in Germany. Talking about no other person but the English striker Harry Kane. He has been doing wonderfully well this season. To put into context, Harry Kane presently has 17 goals in the league, and the highest goal scorer last season was Nkunku. He shared it with one other player. They actually had 16 goals all through the season, and in 10 games, Harry Kane has actually put in more numbers than the highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga did last season, and he has 17 goals already with about 5 assists. He scores week in, week out. If he doesn't score, he's going to give an assist. He also got 2 goals during the week in the Champions League, so it's been a wonderful season so far for Harry Kane. There were a lot of people that are thinking Harry Kane might struggle a bit in Germany. I didn't have any doubt whatsoever as to the kind of person Harry Kane is, the kind of striker he is. I know he was going to flourish anywhere in the world. He is a proper striker. He can score with both feet. He can score with his head. So it's not a problem. I think Bayern Munich actually got a bargain, and Harry Kane also, we all know the reason why Harry Kane had to leave Tottenham, that Harry Kane has been the one actually holding Tottenham to actually lifting a silver. We are thinking that there's a possibility that Tottenham would win the Premier League. It's still far, it's still early season. December is coming after the international break, where there are going to be loads and loads of matches. I think most times for the Premier League is actually decided in December. Exception is Arsenal last season, because they played so well in December and they're able to get the required points, but they still were not able to close the league. So well done, Harry Kane. Keep scoring, and hopefully you will be able to win some trophies this season with Bayern Munich. I mean, it's almost guaranteed that you will be able to do that. Leaving Bayern Munich, Dortmund, they have been playing so poorly. They were able to get a win against Newcastle over the week in the Champions League, 2-0, but they were beaten this weekend. They lost their match 2-1 away. The surprise team in Germany this season has been Bayer Leverkusen. Xavi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen has been firing in all cylinders, scoring loads and loads of goals. They have almost scored 60 goals already this season, conceding about 13 or 14 goals. And the good thing about them is that it's not only one person that scores the goal. They have Victor Boniface, they have Geraldo, a lot of good players are in Xabi Alonso's team, and they are all getting the goals. They were able to win their match in Europe, and also this weekend able to come out 4-0 against their opponents. I mean, kudos to Xabi Alonso. He's one of those players that we all knew that he was going to turn out to be a good coach because of his ability to actually read the game, even as a player, his ability to spread those passes, understanding when to make that run. Xabi Alonso is not one of the most gifted players in terms of dribbling, or he is a player that would always come out when you need him. In the big games, you would always notice the person of Xabi Alonso, and he's doing so well as a manager this season. And Bayer Leverkusen are the only team actually pushing Bayern Munich for that title this season. Back to the English Premier League, I would just want to quickly touch on the Chelsea-Manchester City game. I mean, for the neutrals, it was an interesting match. I mean, it was worth every penny or every time you actually spent watching it. At some point, we all thought Manchester City was going to go away with the lead, but Chelsea, some way, somehow, the never say die attitude just kept on, and Manchester City considered a late penalty, and Cole Palmer, what a player, was able to actually convert that. Now, Chelsea supporters rather, come forward. The rest supporters, Manchester United, Arsenal supporters, Liverpool supporters, they could excuse us. So to Chelsea supporters, do you think that Mauricio Pochettino is back? Do you think that the Chelsea that you've been supporting, or the club that you know, do you think they are back? I've watched Chelsea in the past week, and I will still tell you that there's still a problem in that team. Forget about their performance. You can't take anything away from it though, but I think there's still a problem. There are a lot of lapses in that team. Number one is Nicholas Jackson. Everybody started calling him the next Didier Drogba, but he's presently playing like Aderogba or one Drogba. He's not living up to expectation. For me, over the course of the preseason, we also saw his partnership with Nkunku, and we felt like this guy was going to be a problem. Even their first match against Liverpool, he was outstanding, but he has not done so badly, because a whole lot of persons forget that the likes of Didier Drogba actually struggled during his first season. But Nicolas Jackson has not done so badly, but I feel like he would have been able to convert more. Against Tottenham, he was able to get a hat-trick, but you would still see the coach saying he's not happy, because he feels like he should be able to get 6 goals. Against Manchester City, he was able to get a goal, but there were a whole lot of times his positioning is very poor, his decision making is very poor, and it's just when you need him to come good, he doesn't, and that is what differentiates good players from average players. And for me, I feel like Nicolas Jackson is below average, and he cannot be relied upon. And you can see when Broja came in, that's another player that I feel like would do well for Chelsea if he can only stay fit. And he came in and he was able to, the penalty that Broja conceded, Jackson would not have been able to concede that penalty to get that penalty for Chelsea. He wouldn't have been able to get it. Broja was able to control that ball and actually commit the defender and ensuring that he was fouled. But Jackson would not even be found in that position, and he would not have been able to control the ball. And I don't think he's doing enough. Another player in Chelsea that I want to give kudos to is Raheem Sterling. What a match. I know he has a personal vendetta against Pep Guardiola and against his former teammates. He will want to show that, yes, you people let me go because you thought I was finished. But I'm not. I am still a good player. Already I knew if Pochettino was going to get anything right yesterday, was for him to ensure that Sterling was going to be up against Walker. That is the only person that would be able to, quote and unquote, match Walker for pace, but they have trained together. He understands Walker, he knows his weaknesses, and he was totally unplayable yesterday. At some point, I had to pinch myself and say, is this Sterling actually playing against Walker? He was able to get a goal. Another great player for Chelsea is Cole Palmer. To me, Chelsea spent £1 billion last summer signing players, and it was just like a lucky guess. Just keep buying all of those players, and one of them will come out good. And to me, Cole Palmer has been a standout player for Chelsea. I know for you to even be a player under Guardiola, coming from the Man City Academy, and you are able to get into Guardiola's team, then you must be a special talent. And we've not been able to really see much of him. You see those small glimpses. He was able to get a great goal against Arsenal in the Community Shield, but coming to Chelsea, taking on that responsibility to say, hey, I'm going to be taking the penalties at that young age, and week in, week out, keep putting up those performances. I think the sky is the limit for Palmer, and I'm happy that Pochettino is able to also realize that and is building the team around him. The midfield triangle of Kalaha, Caicedo, and Enzo is actually working perfectly. I would say to Chelsea fans, give this team another season. Let them play 2 seasons together, and they are very young. They would actually be unplayable in another 2-3 seasons. And that is my take for Chelsea fans. But Chelsea fans, what do you think? Do you think the team is back? Do you think that the team has gotten their mojo back and they will be able to go on to at least make it to the top 7 or top 6 and qualify for Europe. I think that would be something that the board would have told Pochettino. They need to get back into Europe as soon as possible. Chelsea is a club that has a great history of always being in Europe. So that would be one of the things they would actually be looking out for this season. So Chelsea fans, what do you think? Do you think the club is back? It's not a problem for Chelsea this season with top teams. Arsenal, they got a draw against Arsenal, got a draw against Liverpool, defeated Tottenham, and now they were able to hold Manchester City to a draw. But you see all those small wins, those small clubs, now they be Chelsea problem. And the problem is that the small clubs will not actually come out to play football. They would sit back. But the big teams, because they are big teams, they will definitely come at you. And that's when Chelsea are able to find pocket of spaces because they have very fast players and they're able to play behind the ball. But you see the teams that will sit deep and wait for Chelsea to come, they seem not to understand how to break those teams. And when even they have the small chances, they cannot convert them. So Chelsea, Chelsea fans, do you think it's time for Chelsea to be able to build on this momentum and actually get their mojo back? Or you think it's still going to be a struggling season where the inconsistency is on another level? Because last week you would be able to hold Arsenal to a draw, almost getting a point, and the next thing Brentford is defeating you at home, and the next thing you have gone to Tottenham to get that kind of result. So Chelsea, what kind of problem do you have? Choose your poison. Let's know. Do you only want to be playing big teams all through the season so that we'll just say, okay, give them Manchester United next. They don't need to go and play any other small team. So what do you think, Chelsea fans? Chelsea's next match is going to be against Newcastle. They are playing away to Newcastle, a ground where they've lost back-to-back matches. But do you think Chelsea is back or there's still more work to be done? So Chelsea fans, excuse us. Manchester United fans, come forward. So what's happening, Manchester United fans? Do you think the team will still be able to put in performances? I'm shocked as to the kind of negativity or the comments people have actually thrown at Erik ten Hag this season, forgetting how well the team did last season. Marcus Rashford has been a player that I had expected so much from, considering the fact that he played so well last season, getting a lot of goals. But this season, he has been so inconsistent. Jadon Sancho, also the problem he had, coming with money tag, and he has not been able to perform. Players like Rasmus Højlund still trying to find his feet in the club, though doing well in Champions League. He's amongst the highest goal scorer in the Champions League at the moment, 5 goals already, but it has not been the kind of result or the kind of form Manchester United fans were hoping for at the beginning of the season. So Manchester United fans, what do you think is the problem? Is it Erik ten Hag? Is it the players themselves? I know there's a lot of injury. That's something that you should not take away from the club. Manchester United's injury list, I actually saw it over the weekend and I was actually shocked. But how does he manage the team? Because it's feeling like now, I don't think it's a problem. If my own opinion, I don't think it's a problem of the manager. I don't think it's a problem of the players. I feel like there is more that we are not seeing as supporters or as football lovers. Behind the scenes, there is more happening at Manchester United that is sort of affecting the performance of the team on the pitch. There's a whole lot of distraction as to saying, oh, they want to sell the club, they are not going to sell the club, they've made this bid, they've made that bid. Some United fans want the Glazers out. So I feel like there's a whole lot distracting the team, even off the pitch, and it's affecting their performances. So Manchester United, which way? How do you think the team can actually maintain this win they've gotten against Luton after the international break? They would be hoping that some players don't come back again injured, but what do you think Manchester United should do? Over to you, United fans. And that's where we will be drawing the curtain for today's show. It's been nice and it's fun. Always been here with you guys to discuss about the beautiful round leather game of football. There's going to be an international break. Afterwards, it's going to be resumption as usual. And it's going to be a tough one after the international break, as there are going to be loads of matches before January, and it's make or break for something. This is the time where you don't want to drop points, because as the saying goes, if you snooze, you lose. Thanks for joining in. Please share, like, and subscribe. Tell somebody about Footy Chronicles, and always share as much as possible to please engage my posts. Keep the comments coming and help the boy grow. Until I come your way next time, My name is Bolaji, and this is Footy Chronicles. Adios.